Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you the Tabards guide. Now before we start, there's two ways you can do this. One is buying them online from companies like Spellcrow, which is this one. Unfortunate fact is they only have 5 designs, so you'll only have... Whoops, well that broke off. You'll only have 5 designs in your army. If you do 40 Marines, it's going to look very duplicate, so you don't want that. The second way is the green stuff way, which is basically this one, where you can shape and form whatever you want on the Marine. Now, what you need for this tutorial is clean water, a hard scalpel. This is, I think, a dentist tool. You can find them on Amazon in sets of like 10 with like different shapes. And a soft silicone brush, which is this one from Green Stuff World. I'm not sponsored by them, but if they want to sponsor me at some point, feel free, because I think their products are fantastic. And the green stuff. Now today I have brown stuff here in a massive roll from, again, Green Stuff World. This is almost the same material as green stuff, but slightly harder, and I think it's better for beginners, so I would go after these. Now, when you start mixing your green stuff or brown stuff, you take one part of each, and it's an epoxy putty, which means when you mix the two materials, they'll start getting harder and harder over time. And in about 2 hours, they'll become hard. In about 4 hours, they become rock hard. And then you can't sculpt anymore. So you have to do whatever you're going to do within the 2 hours. Now, what you do is basically, I got to mix one here, but you always keep your hands wet. And when you mix them first time together, you twist them a couple of times, and then just, like Play-Doh, mix them within your hand. When you're happy with the color, which should be either bright green or, in this case, like a metallic brown with brown stuff, you take a small part. Always take a smaller part than you think you might need, because for some reason my eye, and I'm sure other people's as well, just keeps on taking massive chunks of green stuff. And these miniatures are miniatures. So, now we're going to do the tabard in 2 parts, which will be the top part, the chest part, and the bottom loincloth part. I take a slightly squarish shape, put it on there. It doesn't matter very much how it lands and looks. Take the silicone brush, wet it, and now it might be hard to see, but I'm gonna try to fit it on the chest piece. So it's all about pushing and pulling and keeping the edges clean. What we don't want to do is cover the armor like this neck part and push it down. And I just want to make sure that it goes into the belt, just like this one. So it takes some time, and I'm trying not to cover the camera, so it's a bit difficult for me. But I'm gonna push here. Push here. And don't worry about the brush marks that you might make. We're going to soften them up later on. And also there's going to be an undercoat and another paint on this, so you can get away with a lot of mistakes with green stuff. I'm going to spin it around. Push here. Just get a nice shape. Again, this might take a bit of practice. You might do some errors. The good stuff, the good part of it is, if you make a mistake, you can always take it off. Even though some little green stuff will stay on the model, it's not the end of the world. You can always edit it or take it off and do it again and again and again. There we go. Now, to get rid of the creases and the cracks, what you do is you wet the brush and you just slowly, almost like painting, smooth the surface of the green stuff. I feel like this part needs to go in a bit more, so I take it in, get it in the belt, tap tap tap. Ah, there we go. Slightly happy with that. I want to take this part up and inside the shoulder. Now with the edge of the silicone you can make shapes like folds. So when you paint it, it'll look like it's cloth. I hope you can see this detail. Now, Once you're happy with the main shape, you take the hard one, wet this, and get everything inside the belt. Hopefully with this marine I will do some more tutorials as well. I want to make one for weathering because some people ask for how I do the shoulders and the legs. And just making a dirty, ragged Space Marine. Some folds there. And I'm gonna push all the material that's around the gorget down, just to make it a bit more clean. There we go. I think that's fine. You can see that I'm trying to make a definite shape here, so when I'm painting it's a bit easier for me. My first mistake with green stuff was leaving things undefined, where I mean the edges of the model and the green stuff were not clear. So when you're painting it becomes a blob. We don't want that. So now the second part, the loincloth. Again, wet your hands, wet everything. Now the size is very small, and again your eye will trick you. What you want to do is you grab a bit and pull it. This might be easier with green stuff. What I want is some sort of, if you can see here, like a ripped edge on the bottom of it. So I'm just gonna pull with my hand very gently just to get this cloth-like thing. When I'm happy, I'm gonna hold the middle part and now pull from the other end. And pull from the sides. I want like a rectangular shape which will easily go into the marine's groin area. Basically something like this. Now hold your marine and put this underneath the belt. Just like that. It looks horrible now, we'll fix it, don't worry. The best part about this is you don't have to panic. I can leave this like that for 20 minutes, go cook something, come back to it and continue sculpting. Not 2 hours, but 20 minutes is okay. So we're gonna fit this here. Now the marine is walking, so I have to think what would happen to the cloth. Now this feet is forward, so I think it would land on there, so that's fine. But this feet is backwards, so I'm gonna push this back. And it's all about just thinking how things might work in real life. And I mean, I know we're making superhuman 3-meter guys, but if you make things look real, your brain will think, oh yeah, that might work. And it will accept it. So, I want to make a V shape here, and a V shape there. And I think that looks good now. Now from here on, you can leave it like this, and I think it will look fantastic when it's painted. Depending on how you trust yourself and how experienced you are, you can add little folds around the end, almost as if there's wind blowing and the tabard is rolling around, and maybe there. On this end, I'm just going to lift the edges slightly again to make it more defined, so when I'm painting it's not a pain in the arse, or it doesn't look too thin compared to everything else. And that's it, folks. That's our tabard done. Thank you for watching.